Just getting set up here. Um, Hi guys. Today I'm going to be working at my torch, my lamp working torch, and this is different than most of the demos that I do. It's specifically aimed at people who work with glass. Not everybody's going to have a lamp work torch um, or a kiln like that in the background, for that matter. Uh, but if you have those tools, or if you are interested in this process, you might learn something new uh, that and enjoy another rabbit hole, so to say. It's just lots of fun. Hi, Patty. I was not. I don't really consider myself that much of a lamp worker. I do like to dabble in it a bit. Um, I have some friends who are excellent lamp workers, and they kind of gently talked me into trying it some years back, and I kind of avoided it for a while. But I was into enameling. I still do like to enamel, but at that time, that's all I was doing was enameling. And when we would get together with friends, they would be working at their torches with glass, and I would be enameling. And little by little, I got more curious about it, and they kept encouraging me to try it. So one day I did, and I discovered that I really liked it. Of course, I sucked at it at the beginning, but you know, uh, it's like anything else. The more you practice stuff, the better you get. So, so I'm going to show you some really fun. They're quick, little floral head pins. You can make things with them. You can make earrings. There's lots of different things. You can add little dangles um, to different projects that you're working on. So, you know, I'm set up a little bit differently. I just got a new laptop a week ago, and I'm still kind of learning that a little bit. So I'm kind of going between, like I usually do, to make sure that I am centered on what I'm working on. So I have to check with the laptop to make sure that I'm in the frame so that you can see it. What I am using today, let's see here. Oh, hello there. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Susan. Okay. What I'm using today is 20 gauge uh, bare copper wire. Okay. You can also use stainless steel wire. I just don't happen to have any, but that's also very doable. So 20 gauge I like because, primarily I like it because it fits in the slot of my flower tool, my little press. I have several different shapes of flowers, styles of flowers, and this wire has to insert in this press. So I found that some wire, like maybe 18 gauge, might be a little bit too thick. If the flower mashers are cut with a generous uh, cut here, you might be able to get an 18 gauge wire in, but 20 is good. Okay, so I just cut pieces of the copper wire, probably about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 inches. Uh, Sometimes if you can cut them longer, but a lot of it goes to waste, so you don't really need to make them too terribly long. Plus, you also need a little pin vise tool, which, if you get it too long, it'll just be sticking out the bottom. You just don't need that extra excess of wire. So what I did was I just cut myself a bunch of lengths of the copper wire so that they're ready for me to grab. And I have my flower mashers set out. There are lots of different styles of flowers, and I'll show you as we go along. This is like a little star flower, I guess. This is a little rosebud, and oh yeah, I have another one. This one is, I don't know, a different kind of flower, but I'll show you. Just take some of these flowers out. This is one of the flower styles, and here is, this is the same one, it's just a different color glass. I hope you can see those okay. Here's another, like a flower, like a cupped flower. And then there's little leaves. This is the starflower one, but it really just kind of depends on what kind of glass you choose. Uh, and frit. Frit is just crushed up uh, glass, comes in different color choices. And this is all 104 glass, what's known as 104. So the frit is 104 and the glass rods that I'm using are 104. You can't really interchange with a different uh, COE of glass. So glass is typically 90, 96, 104. I don't know if there's others, but 104 is generally what I use. Okay. There's just, it's like a whole nother world, learning all the different terminology, all the different products, tools, all the different stuff that's available. It's fun. Okay, so and I also have these little tiny dishes that I pour my frit into when I'm rolling the, uh, the glass on there, which I will show you all as we go along. Now, and then I have a leaf press. This might be a little bit difficult to see, but it's got the little veins of the leaf in here, and you can make them as large or small as you want by how much glass you put on. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, it's always fun to see a new process. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do it or want to do it, but it's kind of fun to kind of see how things are done. All right, so I'm going to try to get the camera in the right frame here. This is my terribly messy lamp workstation. Some people that are diehard lamp workers will probably uh, gasp when they see how terrible I have all my glass just laying right in front of me. But I work in chaos. It's always how it is. So I've got all my presses lined up here, waiting for me to use. And oh, these presses too. I got these on Etsy. They're from a place called Lampwork Tool. Um, I'll put that in the notes when I do a little uh, post demo post, if that makes any sense, of where you can get this stuff, um, if you're so inclined. This pair of this flower press that I got when I was in Murano in 2016. I took a trip to Italy and went to a lamp worker's shop where he makes tools. And this was one of the tools I bought. These were very pricey, but they're very well made. And I have a couple of them. That's it, because they're just too much money. But I found this other place there out of Bulgaria uh, on Etsy, and they make very nice tools as well. Okay, so first I'm going to light my torch. And this is not like, you know, a micro torch or something that you do metal work with. This is strictly for glass work. All right, so this has oxygen, and I'm using natural gas that's piped in the house. So I'm going to turn off my oxygen, light my torch, get the right combination of for the right flame. Okay, I hope you can see this okay, and if you can't, if you could let me know, I'd appreciate it. If there's any problems, and if you're having any viewing problems, let me know, and I will check periodically so I can see if something's going wrong. All right. So I've lit the torch. I've got my little pin vise here. And this has a little, there's all kinds of different pin vices, by the way. This one happens to be my favorite, but there are different styles available too. And it's got a uh, little hole in here where you put your wire. And also, it's a real good idea to make sure that your wire's nice and straight. It just helps when you're putting it in the flower press that you get your wire straight. Okay, so I'm just kind of feeding that wire down into the vise, the pin vise, and then I'm just pulling that little collar up to make sure that this wire is not going to come out. Oh, brother. Never fails. Okay. All right, so I've got the copper head pin in place, and I'm going to take a glass rod and I'm going to warm the glass up slowly. Just kind of wave it into the heat up on the top where it's just basically warm. If I put it in real close to the base of the flame, it'll just explode, so I don't want to do that. I want to just warm it up gradually. And as it warms up, I can bring that glass rod down into the fire a little bit more. Now I'm going to just touch the top of the head pin of the copper wire just to warm that up a little bit. And my glass is starting to get a little melty. And I'm going to just wrap some of this glass around the end of the copper wire. After I do this one, I'm going to stop and ask you guys if you are seeing this properly or if I need to try to get the camera in a little bit closer. I don't like to have it too close when I'm working with the flame, but if you can't see anything, that's not any good either. So I'm going to build this up kind of like in a ball. Can you see that? I wish I had another hand because I could, actually another pair of eyes too. So I could see what's on the laptop if I'm in the frame properly or if I'm just kind of talking and not really showing you what is going on. I'm just building up the glass, kind of adding layers. And I keep this pin vise rotating too because, you know, with gravity and the heat, the little ball of glass could just fall right off. And the other thing too is you want to make sure that you don't focus the heat or the flame right on the copper wire because that'll just break off. And that you don't want that to happen. All right, so I'm getting enough glass here. And I'm going to round it out a little bit while keeping it hot. I'm getting my pliers ready. Okay, and then I put that wire in that little split there and press down. And there I have a glass flower. Nice little purple glass flower. Now, you could, if you're daring, put a little bit of a little dot inside if you have steady hands, which I don't really anymore, but just melt a little dot. I didn't even get in the center of that. I thought I did. You don't want to stay too long in there because you'll just melt off the definition of your flower. All right, so I've got that little yellow center in there. Now I'm going to take this off of the head pin, or off of the pin vise. This can get kind of warm. So I'm just taking this off. For a certain, at a certain temperature for a certain amount of time. Got disconnected, I guess. Okay, so I see we're going to have connection problems. So if I lose you at any point for more than a couple minutes, start another video. Anyway, I'll start with another one. Did you guys see? Were you able to see it well enough? Do I need to move the camera in a little bit closer? I'll try, but it's kind of difficult. If I had somebody here to film it for me, it'd be a whole lot easier, but I don't have that luxury. So it's centered in the frame well? Okay, good, 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 good. All right, then I will proceed. Thank you very much, Patty. Okay, let's try to get back here. All right, so let's do another one. If you don't have a kiln and you want to do this, you can use a crock pot. I have one when I go to my play days with my friends. I bring my little, I have like a little portable crock pot here, just a small one. And what I have inside of here is called annealing bubbles. They are hard to describe. They look like little plastic balls, but they're not plastic. There's some kind of heat retaining substance that you can put the head pins directly in here and it'll keep them warm. You heat this up naturally and you put your head pins in there and cover it. And then when I come home, I generally will put them in the kiln, but if you didn't have a kiln, you could get by with just this process because the amount of glass you're using is very small, very minimal, and you could get by uh, just just by using the crock pot. If you have a lot of glass, really dense glass, that's more likely to suffer from thermal shock, and these can crack and break. But if you've got them nice and annealed, you don't have to worry about that. Okay. All right. So let's do a different style and a different color glass, and I'll use some frit on this one so you can see how that looks. So where did I lay down my pin vise? Oh, here it is under the lid of my crock pot. All right, so I'm going to put this in the pin vise and tighten that collar up, straighten this wire out. Because honestly, if it has like curves and stuff in the pin, it's really hard to get it in to the press. All right, so Let's see. I think I'll use a little purple mixture here. That's so pretty. All right. I don't think you can even see that though. Maybe you can. Whoop, went flying. Also, I would suggest that you wear kind of ratty clothes when you do this because sometimes the glass will kind of chip off and come right at you. So you can burn yourself uh, and burn your clothes. Little holes in your clothes, so you don't want that. All right, so I'm gonna start turning this head pin around and get my gather of glass. I have a friend who does this uh, for her livelihood, and she has an Etsy shop. And if you are in need of flowers or leaves, plant flowers and or leaves, I can give you her. I will post her Etsy shop uh, so that you can find her if you want to buy already made head pins. She does a lovely job. Okay, I've got my little ball of glass here, and I'm going to just roll it in the frit. Can you see that? I hope. And then I'm going to melt that in. A lot of times the colors don't really show until, the true color of it doesn't really show until the bead is cooled. Center that a little bit better. Put this inside and squish. And there you go. Have another style of flower. I will try again to put a little, what is it, stamen? I think that's what they are. A little stamen in the center. Okay, so that is number 2. Sometimes the tool will get hot, so it might be a good idea to have like a wet washcloth or something like that to cool it down with. Kind of toasty over here where I'm sitting between the torch and the heat from the kiln. Gina, I may sell a few flowers or leaves but I'm not going to be doing a lot. So that's why I'm recommending Sandy Johnson, who's on Etsy. She has a lot that would be helping her out as well. But I'm not opposed to selling a few, but just let me know if you want something and we can talk turkey. All right, let's get another one here. Choosing the glass is always interesting too. Let me see. Let's get some amber colored glass. Warm that up. And then after this, I'll make a leaf, and you can see how that's done. The presses are really what make these flowers. It's not like I'm individually sculpting uh, the flowers. That's not happening here. But the flower presses are great because it gives you lots of variety. They're quick and easy. They're not cheap though, but if it's something that you like to do and you can sell some or whatever, I mean that's pretty much how I've done my jewelry and all the different things that I've made over the years. I have made stuff because I enjoy doing it, but I've also tried to sell stuff so that I can, you know, generate some cash back and kind of justify my purchases. So it's worked well all these years. It's worked well. So between teaching classes and selling my products, mind you, I could never make a living doing what I've been doing, but it's been fun and it's satisfied my creativity. So let's get this. You really, because the glass will uh, start to cool and you have to reheat it. You know, that's at first, I wasn't. I don't know. I kind of like the opaque glass better, but actually for these flowers, the transparents look really nice. Okay, so that's good. And let me take this off. Are we too close? And into the kiln it goes. Just lost, Patty, you said the view is fine, just lost it taking off the pin. Oh, you couldn't see me take it off the pin vise. Okay. All right. All right. I will remember to come up close here when I take it off the pin vise. All right. Now for a flower, for a leaf, I'm going to use this leaf masher here. And let's see. What will I use? What color? I'll use this green. It's kind of an olive green. Leaves can be lots of different colors, as you know. In nature, they are. I mean, primarily green, but through the seasons, they change. So I like to make leaves of lots of different colors. And you should have all your stuff uh, in front of you ready to go. And like I'm thinking right now, I will warming that up again. Frit, and I'm rolling it in there. Can you guys see the frit? Let that melt a little. The leaf. Easy peasy. It's got the frit in it. I don't know that you can see it real well, but you know what I'll do later is I will post a picture of the things that were made Well, actually, I probably can't do that till tomorrow because of the kiln. Okay, now I'm going to remove the head pin from here. Hopefully you can see this. I'm just pushing that collar down and I'm grabbing this. That's all there is to it. Warm that up just a little bit and then I'm going to stick this in the kiln. Get a lot of these made in a short period of time. I have a feeling, did, if any, still lost? I don't know what to say. Can you guys see it? This is a terrible broadcast. I don't know why. What's going on? Nobody else is here. Nobody's using anything, internet wise. So, excuse me. I'm not sure what you mean, Patty, where your comment was. I don't know what that means. If you want to. Hi, Mary. Good. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. This connection is terrible. It's just terrible. I don't know if I should just scrap this and start again. I know it's very frustrating on the viewer's end as well. So I don't know. I guess I'll plug along a little bit. You guys can comment if you want me to start all over again. I can, but I can't guarantee that the broadcast is going to be any better. I mean, are you seeing me again? Let's do another leaf. Okay, so I've got another. The Can I say the finished size again? I'm of the leaf. I would say if that's what you mean, it's probably about 3/4 of an inch. Um, I can probably get more specific, not live. If you guys have questions that need, I can try that. But this is like so frustrating. I don't know what to think here. All right. All right. Let's do another leaf. Yeah, if you have questions, just ask them. And like I said, if I can't see them right now, I will address them later. I don't think I've ever had a broadcast this bad with this many interruptions, I should say. And it's hard to determine exactly how much glass you should have on here. At least it is for me. Maybe somebody who does this a lot uh, can have a better sense of how much. I'm going to dip it into the frit. This was an ivory colored glass that I started with. And you can also burn your frit if you stay on it too long. So there's lots of little things that you learn over time, stuff that works, stuff that doesn't work. Okay, put it in the press here. Squeeze. So this one has a little bit more of a point on the end of the leaf. And the colors start to come out as it cools a little bit. And I'll take this one off of the pin vise. Just push that collar down and pull out my wire. And then this goes into the kiln. I should probably have a wider pair of pliers to grab onto these pins with. It'd probably be a little bit safer. So yeah, that one you can see. I'm looking at the laptop. You can see that. I may redo this video. I don't know. I'm not real happy with all the interruptions, especially if I put it on YouTube. People that aren't in my group don't know what the heck I'm doing because I don't know what else is doing it. I'm going to stop here and kind of gather my wits because this stuff unnerves me. We've gone in and out so many times. Patty, the flowers are probably about a half. I can measure them just so you, of what they measure. But yeah, I'm going to stop here and then maybe I will try this again later. I'll let you know. I just don't understand. It's not any fun for me or you, uh, when stuff doesn't work right. So, but at least you have an idea of how they're made. But there's so much more to it as far as glass and tools and equipment and all the other stuff. So let's see here. Let's see. And then I've had 2 phone calls while I do this too. So anyway, yeah. All right. So this again is some of the stuff that I have made previously. It's all doable. You could just do little balls at the top like that. They don't even have to be flowers. You can make little little balls like this, and I like to have different things like this added into my little bouquets. I think that they add a little interest. Here is another, just like kind of like a flame shape. They're fun, uh, like I said, to add into a bouquet. And here's like a larger leaf that I've turned just a little bit. You can do something like that. There's just lots of stuff, and you just want it to work, when you're doing this. But yeah, a lot of people make these into earrings. They add different elements to them, to the piece. I think probably more so with the earrings. I mean with the leaves. You could add a bead or two on top of this, and then make a nice loop, wired wrap loop, and make a pair of earrings out of them. I'm sure there's lots of different things that you can use with that. Diane, I don't do it live on YouTube. I just do it live here, and then I transfer it over to YouTube because uh, Facebook isn't keeping any of the videos longer than 30 days. So rather than lose all the stuff that I'm demoing, then I put it all on YouTube. So you can always find stuff there. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry it was kind of a bust, but at least you got a little bit of it, and I'll think about doing another one. But who can predict? Who can predict how the internet's going to work? So, all right. Well, if you don't see me back, regardless, I will post later on with some of the stuff and answer some questions for you. And in 2 weeks, my friend Patty Pulliam is going to be here, and she's going to do um, polymer clay. She is polymer clay guru. She knows how to do it all. So she's going to come over, and we're going to have fun and have a nice presentation for you. So, and hopefully the internet will cooperate. So, thanks for being here with me, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.